Over the past 10 years, I have been on a mission to live a more healthier lifestyle. I want to live more fruitfully and just be able to have a better day physically and mentally. Through plenty of trial and error, I have found healthy habits that have made me feel better in all realms of my life, and I want to share that with you guys today. So if you guys are trying to elevate your life and elevate your 2025, then keep watching because I have some habits that can hopefully help you do that. Hi guys, my name is Cindy Sember. For those of you who do not know me, on this channel, we like to discuss all things health and wellness. I like to share a lot of fitness tips from my Olympic background. I want to share with you guys some of these tips because I have noticed that they have made a huge impact in how I feel, how I'm able to push my body, and honestly, just how I can live my day-to-day in a positive way. The first thing that I have started implementing in my life day to day and has helped me tremendously is drinking water first thing in the morning and adding a little bit of salt to it. So I learned this hack when I was trying to just become healthier with my nutrition, and I learned that adding salt to your water has a real impact on electrolytes, on just natural energy that you can get. And so I'll do this first thing in the morning when I wake up. I tend to just go straight to the kitchen. I'll fill up half a liter of water, which is what I like to start with before any caffeine or anything else, and I'll add the salt to it. So it doesn't have to be a lot, but just like a pinch of salt. Getting that salt helps your body kind of regulate itself. I will also add some lemon because I've done some research on this, and lemon is a natural anti-inflammatory. It helps your body to reduce its inflammation, and it's a natural energy booster as well. So if you don't like to drink coffee or tea, then this is something you can start doing to give yourself that extra boost in the mornings. So this is the first thing I will do, and I recommend doing this before any caffeine that you might take because that can really help you. I've also learned that taking caffeine first thing in the morning is really bad for your cortisol levels. So I've stopped doing that the past few months, and I have noticed a little bit of improvement. I noticed that I don't crash as much. I don't feel like I need to take naps in the middle of the day, or I just don't feel as tired when I do this, because something about giving your body that time to kind of work itself into the morning and slowly doing that is helpful. I love drinking coffee, and some of you I'm sure who are watching do too, but if you can wait at least 90 minutes, 60 minutes is probably the least, but if you can wait to the first 90 minutes of your day, it really has made a difference. And that's something I've been talking to my nutritionist about, and I'm working on doing myself. Okay, the next thing that I have been doing and I have found to be really helpful is spending more time outside, especially in the morning. So recently, I haven't been doing this because it's so cold here where we are, but I have noticed that when I started spending time as soon as I woke up in the mornings outside with my quiet time or whatever that was, I felt naturally better. My mood was elevated, and something about just getting that fresh air, getting that natural sunlight definitely elevates your mood. So if you can, as soon as you wake up, opening your windows, the sun and the natural lighting has a really big impact on mood, and it actually helps you wake up better. I mean, I have an app, as I've spoken about on this channel, called Ultra Human, and I'll attach the video to explain a little bit more about that. But I have learned on that app that not just turning on lights, but opening up windows and seeing natural light really helps your circadian rhythm, and it allows you to have a better sleep schedule at night. So starting it off with light will help you ultimately at your night, which is a continuous effect, as you can imagine. So I do this regardless because I love natural lighting, but I started opening up my windows first thing and just getting that light. And I will also just go outside if the temperature isn't too bad. And something I've been told is the benefits of grounding. And so grounding is just, getting your bare feet on the ground and really feeling the earth. And I haven't actually noticed a lot of benefit doing this, but I have noticed that it feels really good. So it really does feel good on my feet, and it also just makes you kind of feel better overall. So that is something I've learned about, and something that I recommend you trying if it's something you want to do to wake you up and to get you started on a good day. So the number 3 thing that I have loved and enjoyed doing, honestly, over probably the past 8 years, is having a morning routine that I look forward to. So I created a morning routine for myself, I would say right after I graduated college, because I learned that I had to create some form of structure in my life with my profession. And so if I didn't have some level of control over my day, I felt like I wasted it or I squandered it. So taking control of my morning helped me feel that I had a little bit more control. And so something I like to do personally in my morning routine is I like to take it slow. I wake up, Like I said, I drink my water. I like to go outside if the temperature is right. I spend time reading my Bible, spending time with God and praying. And that just really helps me work myself up until my day. And I actually really do look forward to this. Sometimes I'll blast worship music or I'll start singing. I'll drink coffee eventually once my timer is up. But I really do actually look forward to doing this. And over the past 3 months, I have started like waking up earlier, which I have really liked because something about seeing the sun rising is really nice. And sometimes I wake up past it, but when I do wake up with it, it really does feel really good to just, be up with the sun. And yeah, it does wonders to your mood. So instead of like rushing, going straight into your day, if you can wake up, even if it's just 15 minutes earlier, to set that morning routine, have something to look forward to, it really does set you up for success. And it allows you to just look forward to your day. Like it's like romanticizing your life and truly embracing what you have. And like I said, it gives you a form of control. Like let's say your schedule is super busy, you do feel like you have a little bit of like, this is my time, I can do this. And also on top of that, having a nighttime routine is also important. I'm not the best at this one because I am a night owl and I could just be up for hours at night without controlling my time. But when I do, make this a thing where I try to go to bed earlier, I do notice a difference in how I feel. So if you could do both, definitely recommend it. It truly will make a difference. Going back into that point I just discussed, the next tip is to grow your relationship with God. And I have done this throughout my life. I mean, I've always been a Christian. I was raised Catholic, but I also didn't intentionally have like a day-to-day relationship when I was younger. And so when I started doing this more often, like really focusing on the prayer time, really, incorporating God into every aspect of my day, that made a huge difference as well. And so, yeah, it releases a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. When I do get really, worked up or kind of worried about things, I'll take 5 minutes in my day and just pray about it and ask him. And that definitely has helped my mood personally, and totally recommend doing the same. It can not only reduce your stress, but it really does bring peace, and it helps you, further your meaning in life, because our purpose here is not to accumulate fame and money and all these things, but is to follow the Lord and what he has for our lives and hopefully make it to heaven. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. I think that if we can be intentional with that every single day, I think that's really helpful, and it has become a healthy habit in my life as well. Move your body consistently. I'm not saying you have to go and work out every single day, but what I mean by moving your body is going on a walk, getting up after you've been sitting for hours, really being intentional with being active. I have a little bit more experience on being active, and so I know that my perspective is a little skewed into how often people can work out. But if you can, put 5 to 10, 15 minutes a day to moving your body, whether that is, like I said, a walk or going to the gym, doing an at-home workout, which are really helpful actually. If you guys Google HIIT workouts or Pilates or yoga, whatever people like to do nowadays online, like you will find it, and it really does do wonders to your mood, to your energy levels, and to your overall health and well-being. And if you want, you can go through all of my other videos. I have stretches on here. I have different workouts I like to do. I have a lot of tips about how to start working out for beginners. So if you want, go back on some of my videos and start your journey in that way. But yes, I noticed that the days I'm not active, like if I go, for instance, in the off season and I don't work out for weeks on end, I notice a difference, not only in how I look, but also how I feel. And so it is really important to just be active. And on top of that, to eat healthy and to eat less processed foods. I love me some junk food. I'm not gonna lie. If I could, sometimes I will just eat all the things I want, and they're not the healthiest. And I'll give myself some time like to do that. So I'm saying everything in moderation. But when I overdo it, I absolutely notice that I don't feel good. I don't like how, my skin even starts to look. Sometimes I'll see like little pimples here and there because I'm eating oily things that probably aren't the best for me. And so the more that I focus on, going to the grocery store and not getting processed things, getting whole foods that are, more fruits and healthier meats, not just processed meats, like all that stuff makes a difference. And so being really intentional this year to doing that, having a list ahead of time. So not just going to the store when you're hungry and everything looks good, like having that list and sticking to it will help. And yeah, I'm totally working on this myself, but not just picking up what you want, because that in the moment might feel good, but long term it doesn't do anything for your benefit. There are a lot of fitness gurus out there who are like, just be strict all the time and follow this plan. And honestly, I've tried that before, and following a strict plan, it worked in a season for me. But then when I went back to all that other stuff, I kind of binged out a little bit too much. So give yourself like time to enjoy it. Maybe that's like once a week or even just like one meal, but do not do it consistently. Like, you will regret it. Another thing that I'm working on this year, and I recommend you do the same, is limiting your screen time. So there have been plenty of studies showing that being on your phone, scrolling, whether that's social media or the news or all those things, leads to a lot of depression, a lot of mental anxiety, like a lot of mental issues. And people don't realize how much that our phones can have an effect on us. And so that is something I am being very cognizant of in 2025, is I'm not going to be sitting around wasting my time scrolling, looking at lives of others, or even just consuming a lot of information that I don't always need. I think it's really helpful to, go on YouTube and like research things that are helpful, or go on Google and figure out something that's wrong and try to understand the solution. But there's a balance to that. And sometimes, even I know for me personally, I can overdo it and then I get way more anxious than I was. Or if I'm just scrolling thinking like I just need some, refreshing time, and I'll leave my scrolling time and just be like really depleted, or I've compared my life, or I've done something that didn't help me overall. So something I'm doing for this is, like I said earlier with my app, it will tell me to limit my screen time. So on this app, it'll tell you like, hey, this is the time you probably should start slowing down at nighttime, which also helps with sleep. So the less you look at your phone at night, the better. And also, there's also apps that will completely shut your phone down at a certain point. I don't have those on my phone, but I will put it on Do Not Disturb in the mornings and in the evenings so that I'm not like constantly looking at things. I'll turn notifications off so that I'm not always seeing when something is happening and it's telling me every minute to click on it. And I think every other day I will have an intention as to how many hours I can spend on that day, or how much I can scroll. So some days I might do more if I'm posting, but other days if I'm not, I'm like, okay, we're not going to be on this app. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. So I've had to really be intentional, and I've noticed it's helped, and I want to continue to do that, and I recommend you do the same. Another healthy habit that you can start doing in 2025 is have weekly check-ins with those you love. So whether that's friends, people, maybe a Bible study group, maybe, your workout group, whatever that is, have weekly check-ins. I've started incorporating this with friends. So we might have like once a week we talk, or once a month we catch up. And I've noticed that's so nice. And community is so important. You don't really realize it until you actually have it, that you're like, oh wow, this is actually nice to just communicate with other human beings. Like, sometimes you think you have it if you are on social media or you have family that lives close by. But I have noticed that when I'm like, let me see this friend that I haven't seen in a couple weeks and we catch up, it's just so refreshing to my soul. And honestly, even having like I said, those weekly phone calls. So I'll talk to my sister, I like a friend I'll talk to every week. So there's just different things that help with community, but this helps with not feeling so isolated. And this truly just helps you not to feel like you're alone, because there's so many things when you do have this community, you'll see that everybody has their own issues, or even the good things. Like, people can rejoice in with their friends and they'll share the good things, and it just gives you a little bit of hope and encouragement. And so it's just really nice to have that. And yeah, I think community is always important. Another thing that I have learned to love and has really changed my life, and I mean like changed my life, is journaling. And I know this is not for everybody, but hear me out. So I started journaling in 2017 when I was going through a really hard time in life, and I was dealing with injuries and breakups and just a lot of stuff that I was not sure how to process. And so I'm like, okay, what do I need to do here to process this? I need to figure out how to get my emotions out. And so I just started writing things down, those random notebooks that you'll use for studying at school. And I just got one of those, not even a real journal, but I just needed paper. So I just started writing it down. It was crazy how much my brain, I had such a mind dump on it, and everything just went on the paper. It felt really good to release it. And I came back the next day, did it again, came back the next day, did it again. And then now it's just a habit 8 years later. I'm literally doing it every single day, most of the days. And I absolutely love it, because I like to write not only my thoughts and concerns, but prayers and things where I'm hoping for God to come through on. And I have noticed him do so much. And I can go back now and I can read how far I've come and all the progress I've made. And it's just been really eye-opening to know, like, I have had a lot of good happen in my life. I've had a lot of stuff and a lot of crap happen as well. But, a lot of that stuff have made me who I am. And so I think it's easy to forget that. And when I go back and look at that, it's a good reminder. If you can journal, I recommend it. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 2 minutes of thoughts. It can be even just writing down things and goals that you have for the next day. Because I notice that sometimes if I have a lot I want to do and I don't know how to process that, writing it down even the night before has helped me to feel more productive the next day. And it also helps me to sleep well at night because I'm not overwhelmed with everything that has to get done. And so just putting things on a paper makes a huge difference that we don't actually realize. And so I recommend it. I like to use a cute journal personally because it makes me look forward to writing in it. But if you just need a piece of paper, like just start somewhere and keep record of it. And also if you're journaling your thoughts, write the date down, and that will help you see, oh my gosh, 4 years ago, this was where I was, but now in 2024 or 2025, here I am. So it is really, really cool to just see, and you'll be able to see in 2030 where you'll be. And in 2035, if you just start doing it now, you can go back on it. So something I recommend for a healthier lifestyle is to journal. Something I have always done was I've been training for championships, and that is amazing, and I love doing that. So I've learned that having a bigger goal is really helpful for me because it helps me to strive towards something. And so this is a healthy habit that I think we can incorporate in our everyday lives, is setting a goal each month or a year, or just something you're going towards that can kind of give you something to look forward to and something to strive for. So what I like to do, and recently for me, I've talked about this a little bit, actually studying for a personal trainer certification at the moment. So that is one of my goals right now. And I am, putting effort towards that daily, even if it's a little bit or a lot of time, like I'm just working towards something. And I think it's really nice to have a thing that you're working towards, and it doesn't have to be big. Small things, even if it's just like, okay, you know what, by this time of the year, I want to have this accomplished. And it just gives you a little bit of a framework of, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I need to go about this? People like to do marathons. People like to have projects, whether they want to start a book. I don't know. It can be small as I want to get consistent with learning how to cook. Like I want to make sure I'm cooking 3 times a month, and that's a goal. So if you can get to that, that's really good. But I just think having something to look forward to, and it doesn't have to be thousands of them. If it's just one, I do think that it can really make life a lot more meaningful, a lot more healthy, not just sitting mindless scrolling or watching Netflix or all that stuff. So having that ahead of time really has made a difference for me. And yeah, it definitely is good. And like I said, having the Olympics and all those other championships have been great. And I try to incorporate that in little day-to-day tasks, and my competitive nature has been loving it. So if you're anything like me, you definitely want to try that out. Something I want to do more of in 2025, because I've seen its benefit and I have noticed how much it makes a difference, but that is to stretch more. So stretching is something I have never really loved. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm the kind that wants to just get straight to doing things if I'm working out, or at nighttime, I'm like, my body doesn't feel too bad. I don't need to stretch it out. But every time I do stretch, it relaxes me. If it's at nighttime or if it's right before a workout, it makes my joints warm up. It definitely just makes me feel overall healthier and not as sore. And so if you can learn to stretch more often, if that's the morning or like right before I said sleeping, you won't regret it. And I actually made a video last week, and you can go back and watch it, but it's just like different stretches and things you can do to get your body ready to work out, feeling ready to go. So I'm starting this more in 2025. I've seen the benefit. Like I said, if you do it at night, it really relaxes your mind. It calms you. It can be part of your night routine. It can be part of your morning routine. Just incorporate it some way that will make a difference. Lastly, something that I want to continue to do and have been doing, and I recommend you do as well, is finding different ways to serve each week. So I have always been a helper. That's my natural gift, I think, is just wanting to help people, wanting to serve other people. I like to do that, whether that's through YouTube and sharing things that have helped me, whether that's serving my husband. I like to serve him whatever way he needs. I just think finding a way to serve other people is so crucial, because we're not meant to just be here for ourselves. I think it's good to be goal driven and to have, personal stuff we want to do. But if that's all we're doing in life, what are we really doing here? Like, I think it's important, and God made it this way, that we are serving others and people around us and helping them. Finding different ways to do that each week. And it can be as little as calling somebody that might need a little bit of encouragement, talking to your neighbor that really don't talk to, but sharing something that might help them. Anybody who's at your church and says, hey, can you help us move into our house? Like being one of those people who says, yeah, I'm coming to do that, and following through. Like I have just found that serving helps me get my mind off of myself and all of the negative things even in my life. And I just think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to get out of ourselves, out of our mind, and to help people. If you want to really feel better and more purposeful this year, then help people. I'll just think about what's in it for me all the time. Like what's in it for them? What's going to make them feel happy and seen and loved? I think if we can all do that, then we'll also have a better world. So I definitely think that is really, really important. So I hope these helpful tips helped you think about healthy ways you can live and can hopefully encourage you just to be a better version of yourself. I've seen this be a big factor in my life. I am by no means perfect at any of these things, but I have been striving to do them every day, and I think that they have made a huge difference. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also go back, watch some of the other videos on my channel, subscribe, and share this with a friend who might want to hear something like this. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye.